what's happening out there? JT here in the Studio 10-4 live, and the weekly update for August 9th, 2023. 2 weeks into August, man, it's already just kind of blowing through, and so is this year. So I hope you guys have had a good year so far, and kind of looking to head down the back half of it and into and out of 23 and into 24. So hard to believe I'm actually saying that right now. So we'll just let it be. Let's just enjoy the last part of this year, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot to be had, a lot to do. So definitely want to be able to enjoy it. I want to say thanks. This is our cover truck show. Want to be thanking Pittsburgh Power for sponsoring, of course, their product Max Mileage, which is the fuel catalyst that they have invented, designed, manufactured, and make available. It can be ran in any vehicle, anywhere, and it is some pretty good stuff. Want to also thank Evan Stager, and of course, y'all know Evan, the hardest working polisher guy out there, and nothing take away from any of the other polishers out there, because I know y'all are badasses out there, but Evan's paying to be the man today. So if you want to get in here and do that, hey, give me a call. But today it's Evan and Evan's Detailing and Polishing. And sure appreciate all he does for everybody in the industry, making us all look good every day. And Pittsburgh Power Max Mileage, making us all run good. Of course, this is a cover truck show. So guess what? We're going to be talking cover truck. This is our August edition. That is the cover, of course, and I call the guys, because there were so many involved in this thing, and we've got two of them on the show today. Team Veerkamp, but there's always a team that it takes to put something like this together. So, but today we got Matt Veerkamp and we've got Sean Stover, who had a lot to do with, of course, this truck and making it happen, and we'll talk about that here in a few. In case you guys haven't noticed, we've got something really cool going online over here, and that's our new website. And there it is, the Stellar 66-ish, as they've dubbed it. And we'll find out why here when we get into the conversation about that truck and what's on top of the chassis and what's underneath the body. And you'll get why it's 66-ish. Something else you guys ought to be checking out is the Reno ATHS show report with the new website. Listen, it's not rocket science. It's just click and go. But there's some great pictures in here, and Dan did a real nice job, of course, as always, putting the story together. So, guys, get in there and read it. I actually just read this one and the other one that I read, which is really good. I'm going to bring that up here too. Go back to the beginning and start over. I want to talk about just for a minute where to go. There it is. So celebrating 100 years, and that's Kenworth, of course, and their show that they put on in Chillicothe, and it was a success as it has been. Of course, last week we had Kate on the show there, and her truck Cherry Pie. Thanks, Kate, for being around and being on the show. But we're going to have on the show, hopefully next week, we will have Jack Schmidt. And Jack is the assistant plant manager and quite the, I guess, contributor to the story that Frank Strohmeyer did on the 100-year anniversary show, which is not over by a long shot. They're going to be celebrating up in Brooks, Oregon at the Brooks show. So can't wait to see all that happen up there too and be a part of that. But we'll maybe get Frank on the show too, since he shot this. Frank, if you're able to watch on the playback anytime soon, and Frank's doing the crazy overnight shift right now, so I think he's doing swing 3 to midnight or something. But we'll get Frank on here. Frank's always a good one to have on the show, and a great asset to 10-4 magazine. Love having Frank around and doing everything he does everywhere for us out there. First, hey, say hi to everybody out there. I know some of you are tuning in from the different groups that we have out there on Facebook. In the beginning, when you first click on that or see the invitation, it asks you to click the privacy thing on there. That's just so we can see who you are, meaning your name and your profile, Facebook profile picture, whatever that is. If you didn't do that, all I see is a silhouette, of you, and I don't know who you are. So to all you guys out there, howdy, and thanks for tuning in. Everybody else, Dan Lynn's, of course, in the house. Kelly Cohen out there. She's a cover trucker and on the show. Jamie Williams, of course, JNL. Good to have you on the show. And Facebook user. Yeah, that's what all it says on that is that Facebook user silhouette thing. Annette, how are you, darling? And yeah, we'll probably be bringing some tequila up to Brooks. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having some time and hang out and have another good time together at a truck show. Eddie Staley, man, Eddie, how you doing, buddy? Good to have you on the show. And Bruce, good to have you the other side of the Cone family. And Scott Henry, good to have you on the show, buddy. Yeah, you too, man. And Miss Shannon, you guys, I hope Dan and Shan will be on the road soon and feeling better. They're just worn out from Salt Lake, so just flew in. Da-da. Anyway, I'm glad to have him back and tuned in. Roger, good to have you on the show. I think you're in there somewhere too, and always good to have Roger Godelli on the show and a part of 10-4 as well. As I said in the opening of the show, Studio 10-4 live for August 9th. This is the 4-year anniversary of the passing of our good friend and co-founder, 10-4 magazine, Eric Sieben. Dan put up a real nice post, and I hope everybody takes a moment to leave a comment and maybe share what Eric meant to them, good or bad. We'll take it. We've heard it all, so don't worry, it's okay. But they were definitely a great team. Dan's still great, flying solo and got the reins of 10-4 and leading it on into the future. And of course, 30-year anniversary, which is coming up this September. We'll be celebrating that in Joplin, Missouri at GBATS, the Guilty by Association Truck Show, put on by our friends Four State Trucks and the Chrome Shop Mafia, and of course the boss man, Brian Martin, out there in Joplin, Missouri. Looks to be a big show. Some 800 participants, meaning 800 trucks. That's a lot of trucks, man. Let me tell you something. If you've never been to Joplin, you've never seen this show, you need to get on out there. Chad, good to have you on the show there. Contributor and, of course, got the reins of the Roadworks truck, Chad Violet, in the show tonight, too. If you've never been to Joplin for the GBATS show, you need to go. It's not just trucks park, walk around. Brian and the Chrome Shop Mafia boys put on something that the likes of nobody else, I think, ever sees, because they got enough room to do it. There's nothing but space out there in the middle of our country in Joplin, Missouri, and they do it all, from truck and tractor pulls to demolition derby, burnout, pit, and whatever else is out there this year that's going to be happening. The drag races, I don't think, are coming back, so I think they decided to do something different on that one. And then one year we had a rodeo out there too. That was crazy, let me tell you, man. But it'll be a big sight to see, and be sure and drop by the 10-4 booth. We'll be parked right out in front of Four State Trucks as usual there in our booth. And we'd love to see you, have you come by and meet everybody and say hello. That'll be coming up in September. And of course, if you need to find out when exactly, go to the website and hit us up on the website. It's always there and available for you. All you have to do is go to events, click on it, and drop down and scroll through. And what I'm scrolling through right now is all the shows that have already happened. We're right here, right now. So there's still a ton more trucks coming up. Eric's going to be in Waupun on this weekend. And I'm not sure who's going to be where else and when right now, except I do know we're all going to be right here in the Brooks, Oregon truck show. And that's the 25th, 26th. Myself, Dan, Shan. I'm not sure who else will be out there with us, but come out and say hi to us there too. We'd love to see you. Get some 10-4 swag, shirts, hats, magazines, posters, all the fun stuff that we do. Most of which is free. The hats and shirts, of course, are not. We got to pay for those, so we sell those, and hopefully make a couple of dollars to pay for the gas to get up there. So, again, love to see your stories right over here, guys. Drop the comments in over on our Facebook page and tell us what Eric meant to you, and maybe share a story and experience, whatever you had. And Dan says he'd love to share a sneak peek of our upcoming 30th anniversary shirt, but it's not quite done. So maybe next week. Well, when you're the editor at 10-4 and you got all these things pulling and tugging at you, you gotta just get done what you can get done. So I'm sure Dan will be seeing those shirts soon, and I'll be looking forward to that. And they'll be available soon as well at the shows. So you guys look forward to that too as well. And there's the rest of the crew. They're going to be there. So Parker, Annette, and Roger will be in Brooks also. So we'll have a pretty good crew there. John Jakes, how you doing, buddy? Good to have you on the show. All right. I don't know if I have a quick Eric story. Let me think about that one, and maybe we'll play that back after we do our deal here that we're going to go roll into right now. So, as most of you know, I used to live in Folsom, California. I lived there for about 15 years. At one point, I was actually living in El Dorado Hills. And when I was living there, it was right after I had left Rogue Truck Body. It was the beginning of the recession, just a lot of financially miserable things that were starting to happen were happening. Long story short, I still had a transfer that I built, and when I worked up here at Rogue Truck Body back then, we were buying used trucks, and we were building transfers and selling them, and we have a lot of those still out there, and in fact, one of them came in for a little reworking, and in the Mid Valley Ag, and they'll be picking that up next week. But they redid a bunch of stuff on that truck, and that was one of the ones. In fact, it's the one that was parked over at Doug Veerkamp's, and that was along with a 50-foot white gooseneck car hauler trailer that I owned that I used for moving my stuff out of California and then back to California. But I had nowhere to put it, so Doug was kind enough to allow me to park there, and as long as I needed, and then finally, eventually, I was able to get the truck sold, and then which was not an easy feat back then. We were in a recession, so it took a bit, but we finally got it sold. Kendall, good to have you on the show, and congrats on. And that's a whole nother story. The first day of school, man, all those pictures are flowing through the news feeds and social media right now. Nothing. Hey, love your kids, and you guys are proud. It's just another one of those things of the season for us non-kid people right now who don't have kids going to school. Obviously, we're getting inundated with how proud everybody is. They're going into their new grade, and yeah, I just like making fun of it, but it's a good deal. Anyways, back to the story. So once I got the truck sold, I think I had the trailer there, a couple, maybe a year, 2 years, I don't remember honestly, but got it out of there. And then Doug and his company moved back up to Placerville, I guess, out of El Dorado Hills, and that's where they can be found today. Doug, one of the nicest, generous guys around, and Matt, who I really haven't met yet, and going to probably get better know here soon, which is his son, is kind of taking the helm a bit. I'm assuming being vice president of Doug Veerkamp engineering and trucking, the whole show that goes on there. These guys have been developing around the area for years, and they're still at it up there. Engineer contractors, and you need a city built. These are the guys you call. They come in with all the yellow iron, and they level the ground and clean it up and do whatever needs to be done to make it so they can build a town or a town center like they did in El Dorado Hills. All the hillsides along Highway 50 in that corridor, there's a lot that these guys have been doing over the years. So as it were now, thanks to the advent of social media, one of our 10-4 followers, Brian Chatham, sent me some pictures, and it was of this truck that you guys are all looking at right now on the cover of 10-4 magazine, and said you guys might be interested in checking this truck out. And he wasn't wrong. So Brian, thanks for that. Appreciate you giving us the heads up, and really appreciate that. And with that, I'm going to bring two guys on into the show right now, Matt Veerkamp and Sean Stover, who I don't know who did what, but I'll let you guys tell the story from this point forward. So, Matt, Sean, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I didn't mention, where we're at right now, and I don't know where Matt's at. Sean, I do because we had a little bit of setup to work out. You're actually in the truck museum there in the yard, I guess. So, and behind us or behind you is our current cover truck. So we're going to get a little walk around and a little view of what's going on there in the museum. So, Matt, what's happening with you? Tell me about yourself, and of course I know who you are, but I don't know who you are. Dan says hello too, by the way. So, are you guys seeing the comments? Okay, they coming through, so you guys can see them.
Yeah, we see
You
him.
guys are more than welcome to respond at any time if you see something or somebody that says hello. Go right ahead and do so.
Well, first of all, I'm just excited to be talking to a guy named John Jakes.
Yeah, right.
I mean, Sean doesn't Jake, just John Jakes.
John Jakes, he does, yeah,
Yeah,
a lot.
The louder the Jake, the better, right?
He's a W900 guy, purple, and he's done real well with that truck. It's a cover truck too, so he's you're all part of the family now, and he's been there for a while. But yeah, that's John Jakes.
Yeah, I saw that. Who doesn't want a last name like Jakes?
If you're a trucker, you get it. Otherwise, everybody's like, yeah, John Jakes. So what?
Yeah, does he?
Yeah, we'll never know.
Well, good.
So
yeah,
tell us more about Matt.
What?
Who are you and what do you do, Matt?
So my name is Matt Veerkamp. I currently run Doug Veerkamp General Engineering, like you had said. We went into business in 1983, the year after I was born. This year we're celebrating 40 years in business, and it's a pretty big milestone.
Congrats.
Doug, the owner, thank you, is still very involved. He loves the tractors. He loves the trucks. This blue truck is a big deal to him, seeing his name on it and up and down the road and the reception it's gotten from, everybody that sees it. So we currently do general engineering, contracting, earth moving, underground utilities, paving, concrete, all the things. We have about 185 employees. We work the Highway 50 corridor from Lake Tahoe to Sacramento. And we do a lot of emergency repair work. And that's been keeping us busy through these nasty winters that are, new.
Yeah. Yeah. And in your line of work, I mean, let's talk about that for a minute. It's not exactly year round work. So there's a lot of seasonal stuff out there. So you got to find something to keep busy during the winter, right?
It really is. It's very seasonal. Everybody we hire, all of our employees know it's very seasonal. But on this Highway 50 corridor, it's like, I don't know if it's the gates of hell or heaven. In the summer, it's heaven. In the winter, it's hell. Because this winter was wild with the mudslides after the forest fires and the culvert washouts and just everything. We worked 24/7 for months after New Year's Eve.
Wow.
So this year was one of our best years ever because of the weather.
Well, and if you're the right guy at the right place at the right time, right?
We're always available.
Good marketing. That's the way to be. Hey, how many transfers do you guys have?
We are currently running 12 transfers, 7 low bed pullers, whether it be in dump or low bed, 2 haulers, 9 dump trucks, and that's super dumps as well.
Yep.
6 service trucks, 2 lube trucks, 10 water trucks, and 42 are Peterbilt. 42 out of that is Peterbilt. The rest are Kenworth.
Well, what we need to see up there in your yard?
What's that? Rogue.
Get a little plug in there for Rogue Truck Body. You can let Cozad keep your low bed business, but by God, give us the Super 10s and transfers, would you? We'll take care of it. Yeah. Anyway, and I mean, truth be told, the guys that used to own Reliance, they work for us now.
Oh.
So a little interesting tidbit. Yeah. It's been a great partnership that's come together. And we're ironing all that out right now up here in Kirby, Oregon, which is where I'm at right this moment. So I know you guys have equipment, but here's the thing that makes you different from everybody else. I mean, first of all, that service truck tells the story right there. But it's what you guys have, how you keep what you guys have, how you take care of what you have. And you're one of the companies out there that at any given time pretty much look at whatever you have working, a job going down the road, anywhere it's representing well and looks good and it's been taken care of. So
Thank
congrats
you.
for doing that, and thank you for making us all look good. That's a big deal.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Doug takes a lot of pride in the appearance of the trucks. It's a big deal. Even the highway patrol that pull us over let us know how good the trucks look. They don't have to do much work on them. They don't have to worry about it.
Why do you think they pull you over?
Yeah.
I've been there, done that. They like pulling us over because we're clean. They don't have to get all nasty underneath some disgusting truck that nobody's bothered to clean in a year or more.
Yeah, most of the time if we get pulled over, it's tell fishing stories and keep going.
Yeah. We used to call it truck show time.
Yeah.
Time to get out and show off a little bit. Now let's talk about this truck and Sean and you and whoever else was involved in this truck. Give us all the lowdown on who was involved and what we're gonna have a look at. And guys, by the way, I want to let our audience know we're going to do something that's a first here for Studio 10-4 Live, and that is we're going to go do a little walk around of the current cover truck. So stick around for that. We'll be doing that here shortly. So whoever wants to field the questions on the build, let's start with how we got going on it and kind of lead into where it's at, and then we'll do the walk around.
Well, let me start with kind of what we do and how we do it here at the Veerkamp collection. We are an antique Caterpillar Best and Holt tractor collector, and that's kind of our cornerstone for the collecting world. We work with Caterpillar Corporate and do customer events. We've done them in China and Las Vegas. We've done them in Arizona. And it's based on the quality of the collection and what we have. We actually have the first Caterpillar made by the Caterpillar company in our shop. So that's kind of our claim to fame with Caterpillar Corporate. Fast forward.
Yeah, how many times have they tried to buy that from you?
A few times. We can't come together on the dollar value, though. It's really weird.
I would imagine not.
Yeah, they won't trade me a D11T or two.
Well, they need to step their game up then, don't they?
I couldn't agree more. But Sean and I and Brandon and Jim Chapman and my dad have been to Caterpillar Corporate several times in the archives and in the event center with, as a guest because of the antique Caterpillars.
Jamie Williams is checking in. Jamie's owner of J&L in out of Springfield there. So do you remember Jamie?
I do. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Jamie.
Yeah. And another 10-4 cover truck. He's got some incredible builds. I mean, you guys kind of got a taste of that, putting that truck out there in the shows and what it's like. ATHS, of course, where we introduced Dan and everybody else to the truck and to you guys, was a great opportunity to be at a truck show and kind of get that vibe from, I guess, the other construction shows that you've been at, unless there's other truck shows that you've been at, excuse me, that I'm missing. And I know, of course, you're going to be at Brooks now with that truck and hanging out with us at the 10-4 booth. So something to look forward to. So go ahead, Matt or Sean, whoever's going to kind of jump in.
So I'll just keep going with how we got here real quick, and then Sean, you can take over if you'd like.
Yeah.
So with ConExpo coming up last summer, we started talking in our shop about building a service truck. So I contacted Seller Truck Bodies and said, hey, we will build you the best truck on the showroom floor at ConExpo if you help us out with a body and put us in your booth. So it took literally about 24 hours to put a deal together. They came back and said, yeah, let's do it. So my first stop was talk to Brendan Schultz. He's the builder of the truck. He's our top mechanic at our company. And he was supposed to be on this call today, but I think he got held up with something.
He might be servicing a truck.
Yeah. Well, he's pretty wild. He's probably servicing a lot of people. So we got together. got a concept together of what we wanted to build with Brandon, Sean, Scott Rutz, Mike Podrick, and my dad. We brought him in last to let him know what we were doing.
Yeah. By the way, kind of by the way.
Yeah. By the way, we're going to Las Vegas with a truck. So we wanted to build an antique truck on a new roller that could go out every day and be a driver. And we narrowed it down on the 1960s Peterbilt because the look of it and the ease of the build. Anything before that was boxy. We couldn't put the engine in it. We couldn't put the air conditioning and the new amenities in that we wanted to do. So it just wouldn't fit. So this model fit what we want to do the best. So we went on a hunt for a couple of trucks. We found two 1966 low bed trucks that were here in Placerville or in California. And that's where we started.
And there it is. I mean, there's what ended up coming out of this collaboration and all the hard work and everything that went into building this truck. I mean, you don't see too many looking like that servicing a fleet of trucks going down the road.
Right.
One of a kind. Hey, who's that guy? You know, some of the details on this truck, and I talked about this last week. You know, I love stuff like this that you incorporate the spirit of what this truck is into the build. I mean, you know, it's a service truck. Why not have wrenches for grab handles on it everywhere and, you know, do little things like that that just make it stand out. Not a bad place to ride when you're working on a truck all day or you know, somebody's D9, whatever else. This thing services all your stuff, right?
Oh yeah. And it's got heated and cooled seats. You know, it's got everything in it. It's like a I shouldn't say it online, but yeah. It's like a limo. Brandon wanted everything, and I think he got it.
I think he did. And just so everybody knows too, this the reason for the 66-ish is the newer chassis underneath there, of course, is not the 66, but the other feature of this truck is the engine under the hood. Tell us about that a little bit.
Well, we originally went to our local Petership dealer, or Peterbilt dealer, and and worked with them to see what we could do about maybe purchasing a new truck or even possibly a rolling chassis. And it just became evident right off the get-go that just wasn't going to happen in the time frame we needed it to work. And so immediately the hunt was on for a donor truck. And another local trucking company had this one come up for sale. It was actually a transfer. It was set up as a transfer, so it was a 3-axle tractor. 2016 Peterbilt 389, 605 horse ISX 15 with an 18 speed. So, of course, Brandon was all in because he wants as much horsepower as possible. So
let me stop you there. Why the 15 speed?
18 speed.
18.
Oh, did you say 18? Okay, good.
Yeah, 18.
All right,
speed.
I'm happy. I'm good.
Yep. Yeah. So unfortunately, when we got it, we were extremely busy at the time, and there was just no way that Brandon and I were going to be able to break free, or anybody really, to start on this build yet. And so we ended up running the truck for a month as a transfer because why not? So
we had paving. We had big paving to do on the highway.
That's right. So about a month after we bought it, Brandon started in on it and tore all the transfer gear off. And I think the second day the cab came off, and then the work began.
Yep. Well, congratulations, guys, and to everybody that had a hand in it. I mean, it is an incredible truck, and I know Doug's proud of the fact that it's carb compliant. So, you know, kind of got the best of both worlds going there. At least, you know, they're going to be off your back, and you got yourself looking and feeling retro, which is what it was all about, right?
Right.
Yep.
And we're going to get to this walk around here in a minute. So tell us more about some of the special effects on there. And you can do that too, Sean, when we do the walk around. But this thing's equipped with a gen set, welders, compressor. I'm sure it's got everything, right?
Yeah, it's fully set up. It's one of the heaviest duty service trucks you can get in a 2-axle. Nice big welder, so it's not just for show. I mean, it's meant to go to work. 12,000-pound Stellar crane, and the whole truck. In most of the pictures, it looks really low to the ground, and a lot of people think, "Oh my gosh, how does that work?" It's too low, but it's actually on 4-corner airbags. It's front and rear airbag suspension, and so the nice thing about that is for actually usability, everyday usability. When Brandon rolls into a job, he can drop the whole truck down on the ground, and it makes the top row of his toolbox is easier to reach. It just makes everything easier to work out of.
So I know 2 of these guys, and well, I know 3 of these guys. So we got Doug there in the middle. Who's that on the? You're on next to Matt.
That's Brandon.
That's
Okay.
Brandon,
the builder.
Okay,
Yep.
Right on. Well, I'm glad we were able to get him in there. So the crane on there, you said 12,000-pound crane. So you're gonna have to do a track repair or something like that on a big dozer. You're able to get in there and lift whatever needs to be put in there to do that.
Yeah. It's a 12,000-pound maximum lift, so that would be in pretty close, to the body and sucked in. But it also has a 30-foot reach on it, and obviously, the further out you reach and lean down and everything, the less it gets. But it does have a neat feature. You can walk out with a remote and actually hold the remote right over the top of what you want to lift, and it will tell you how much you can lift at that point.
Huh.
So kind of a neat feature. It's one of the Stellar's new features. And
so what are we listening to while we work? Because obviously we've got all-weather speakers on this thing. What do we got going on?
Oh, Brandon's got anything from Keith Whitley to David Allan Coe to you name it blasting on there.
A little bit of Britney Spears.
Somehow I don't think that's happening, and that was some kind of a dig, I think, a little bit. But yeah.
No.
Oops, I did it again. You bet.
Yeah.
Great shot of the truck, Dan. Dan, great shots all around, by the way. And I hope Dan's still with us. Like I said, he's not feeling too hot right now. Salt Lake wore him out, but this is a great shot, man. I love that. Very nicely done. So where were we at? We're up in Placerville somewhere shooting all this, right?
This is all here in our yard here in Placerville, California.
Right on.
Yep.
Which today we'll have 100 and what?
We're upper 90s.
Upper 90s.
We're pretty warm.
Great.
Yeah.
Warm and dry.
Great. Yeah. Beautiful night shot there too. So we'll get that on the Friday Night Lights here, I'm sure, coming up if we haven't already. Great shots. There's father and son. There you go.
That's the
Very
guy.
Nicely done. And what have we here?
So there's the trucks. There's our donors right there.
So the white cab was the one we took most of the parts for this build off of, the 66. And that was an original Caterpillar engine truck from 66. I forget what engine it had in it.
What'd you do with that engine?
We still have the chassis, the engine, everything.
Yeah. I figured you did.
So that hood was originally stretched from the factory, but we ended up with the way we did the setup. Ours had ended up having to stretch a few more inches after that. So,
wow,
long and narrow. So, Brandon,
so interesting piece of history. That truck on the right is the original Murray low bed truck.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
that was spec'd out. Yep, spec'd out by was it Harley?
Yeah,
in the 60s.
So a lot of local history there from out of the valley. I mean, So I mean, you guys are running Murray. Are you running Cozad? I didn't catch that in the beginning. Are you or no?
You know what? It's funny. We have four Murray trailers, 7-axle and 16 wheels, and we have bought our first Cozad trailer today.
Today?
Today.
Oh
today.
Man.
Yep.
Well, I hope that works out for you guys. It's always a learning curve getting a new piece of equipment in, so I hope that turns out to be a good one too. Like I said, when you get ready to go transfer, Super 10 dump body, we should talk. All right. Let's see. We got a 16 chassis here, I think, huh?
Yep. So there's the frame we started with.
Right on.
Yep. That was the day Brandon stripped off the transfer gear and began stripping it down.
Nice. Well, it found a home, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Now we got some other pictures coming up. Before I go into any of those, I want to do what we talked about here, and we're going to give Sean the feature on here. And Sean, you want to give us
Let me
the
flip my
walk around here? We're going to make you the star.
See if we can do this. Okay. All right, we good?
Let's get this done here, right? There we go.
There we go.
All right, and you can go ahead and talk to us. We can hear you pretty good, I'm sure.
Okay, so we'll just we'll kind of start from the front and walk around. So like we said, 16 chassis with a 66 cab and fenders and hood on it. And essentially, the truck doesn't know it's anything other than a 16. As far as the computer and everything goes, we integrated everything into that cab. Like I said, we got 12 gauge front suspension on it, 12 gauge customs. And so that gave us air ride in the front to be able to get it down a little bit lower. We did switch out. We dropped one axle from the back and we switched it out to a Pete low air leaf, kind of to get everything leveled out with that nice low 12 gauge customs in the front.
Got that California look going.
That's right. Under the hood here, we have the old original butterfly hood. And by the way, the hood and the side curtains and everything were all redone by Cortland Truck Works.
Very nice.
In Cortland. So there we are. Under the hood is the ISX 15. And Brandon did a lot of modifying on this to make it fit because
I bet.
as you can imagine, I mean, that the original hood on this was probably another 16, 18 inches wider. One of the main things he had to figure out was how to get the intercooler to work.
Yep.
The air. It's, normally your air to air coolers will come off the side and you've got all that piping over here on the edge. Well, that wasn't an option. So we got together with a local radiator shop, Pankey's Radiator down in Sacramento, and they built us a custom radiator, custom air to air, and they brought the tubes out the top so we could come over the top with it. And then Brandon went to work and modified the elbows for the intake and the turbo on both sides so that everything would be narrow enough to fit within the confines of that hood.
How does everything run? Are we got enough air to keep everything cool? Everything's good?
Yes, it's a nice thick radiator core. We did a custom fan that would fit the footprint also. So far, we've seen no cooling issues whatsoever. It's not like we're pulling. The other thing is, it's not like we're pulling 80,000 pounds with it either. It's a service truck. We might 35,000, 40,000 pounds or something max.
Yeah, but it's got to run that air conditioner 24/7 when that thing's out in the field.
That's right. That's right. And of course, we had to put the original louvers back on, and those are wired to switch on the dash, so you can close them when you'd like. They're all polished.
Sweet.
And you can see right behind the louvers the condenser for the air conditioner. Had to fit. So, pretty much pulled all of the stock air lines and electrical out of the donor cab, out of the 2016 cab, and we're able to make it all fit into this one. We reused the original 66 air manifolds here to plumb everything into and through into the cab. And that's pretty much it on this side.
All you builder guys out there and competitors, show truck guys, what do you think? I mean, they've nailed it, don't you think? This thing is just absolutely gorgeous. And what I love about it now, I want you to open up toolboxes. We got tools in there? Are we loaded up?
Not quite yet. We decided to wait till after Brooks.
Okay. All right. That's fair. I'll give you that.
Yep. Yep. With Brooks coming up, we just decided, let's keep it clean, keep it nice and shiny, and let's get one more good show in with it.
Okay. All right.
Right here on the driver's side, you can see this fuel tank's a little bit different. This is Brandon's brainchild.
Is that your def tank?
He'd seen the hidden def tank done on trucks before, and he decided he wanted to make it happen. So we ended up purchasing a new fuel tank, and then we had another one in the shop. We sent him down and had one end cut out and mounted together, and then Brandon went ahead and cut the back of that tank out and made everything fit to where it slipped right over the def tank. So everything's wrapped all in one.
Well, I didn't tell you guys this, but we're going to have something for you to help get that tank even more shiny and polished so we get a mirror finish on that. And that's some products from Evans Detailing and Polishing. They'll be sending you along a nice care package.
Very cool.
That's part of our Cover Truck Show benefit, as well as a gallon of max mileage to run through your trucks, experiment with it, and improve mileage, performance, and longevity in the engine. So thanks to all you guys for doing that. And I'd love to see that tank once you get some of Evans products on there. They work really good.
For sure.
Go ahead there, Sean.
Yeah, so we'll jump inside here real quick. And this is kind of the shock and awe to some people.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of pride and a lot of time went into this. One of our employees also does custom upholstery on the side, Sean Patterson Upholstery, and he knocked this interior out of the park. It's all black and brown leather, and I know you say leather, but leather's actually pretty tough, cleans up well. You can get it dirty and wipe it up and clean it and keep it looking good. The flooring,
so being that you got a twin stick in there and it's an 18-speed, we just got high and low range on one, and what are we doing? How's it? What's the configuration on the stick?
So that is the I forget the brand, but it's a air shift second stick. So you've got high low directing over on the right stick.
Okay.
And then you've got your gearbox on the left.
Okay. Good deal.
So, yep.
Nice pedals, nicely done. And some guys, I mean, I had a 75 Pete, 359, I think it was. Maybe not. Maybe it wasn't a 359. Anyway, it had that floor in there and that flat dash like you guys have. That's the way they did them up until, I think, what is it, 1980 when they went to the Corvette dash or so, something like that?
Yep.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the 83s had that Corvette dash.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm old. But I'm still here. So anyway, but yeah, love seeing it. I love driving that old Peterbilt. Thing had the loudest set of Jakes on it, man. God, that thing was loud.
Oh man. That's
But they weren't John Jakes, they were just regular Jakes.
They were not John Jakes. Well, actually, technically, because I was driving the truck, they were. And if you didn't catch that earlier, it's an inside joke. You got to watch the playback on the show later on. So anyway, Sean, give us some more on this. Look at all the digital. They didn't have that in 1966.
Yeah. So essentially, like I said before, the truck doesn't really know it's anything other than a 2016.
Right.
I was tasked with Brandon set me loose to take the 2016 cab and strip it down to nothing, and pretty much robbed anything and everything out of it that we could use. And that includes all of the original gauges and switches, and also some extra switches I added in for other features. But so the neat thing about the way Peterbilt does it, everything's plug and play. You can move the gauges wherever you want. You can lay them out however you want. You plug them in and they just work. So that was a pretty neat feature, putting this all together. And basically took the old panels from the 2016 truck, and I laid them on this dash panel that Brandon had built, and I laid them all out. We sent them to a local shop, and they laser cut them out, and this is the result of that.
Our owner and editor Ken made a comment, and I just have to put it back up here again, and it's so true. I mean, here we're now in the era of the 300 series as we know it. It's over. It's no more. So we're at 589 now for Peterbilt. That's the signature truck, I guess. But Dan said the world probably came to an end when the Corvette Dash was introduced, as did everybody every year, every era, when something changed, when you went from this to that to whatever, along the way, right? And it was so true. And it's really probably truer now than it has been in a long time. They really changed things up here on this new version. But go ahead, Sean.
Yeah. So basically, I ended up, like I said, adding a few more switches here and there, and some extra circuits. And what we have, obviously, we have power windows. And on the 389, the window switches were obviously on the doors. Well, there's no room. We don't have armrests. So all those switches are now on the dash. We also have front and rear airbags here. So the front airbag with that 12 gauge customs is manual airbags. You can inflate it however you want for ride height. And then this one is also part of the 12 gauge customs kit, and it's just the overinflate for the rear suspension. So the rear suspension is normally auto leveling, and this one you can override. So say Brandon wants to pull into a job that's a little bit, a little rockier, a little rougher, he can inflate both ends of the truck and raise it all up nice and high and get a lot of clearance.
Hey, Sean, we got about 5 more minutes for the walk around, and then I want to bring you guys back together. So
Sounds
let's
good.
go ahead and have a look at the bed and
Yep.
and kind of get around the back of it.
Sounds good.
And I'm going to have to get a hold of 12 gauge for all the props they're getting here and get them as a sponsor on the show now.
We've got, like we said, it is a service truck. So we've got drawers for all of his tools, all of your supplies, parts, anything you'd need, all the way around the truck. All the compartments are just loaded with shelves and drawers and everything you might need for the job. For the lighting, we've got strobe lighting from Sound Off Signal that I added on, and all the flood lighting is also from Sound Off Signal. They hooked us up with some help on getting this whole thing lit up for not only making it look good, but also for practicality, working on the side of the road, working out on the job sites. You need to be seen.
I'll tell you what, man, it's going to be a crying shame first time around that deck back there gets worked on, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
kind of like it's going to get baptized,
Yeah, it will get baptized.
That's one way to put it.
So walking around the truck, all of the lights, every single clearance light, tail light, blinker, everything on the whole truck are all dual revolution. So every light on the whole truck switches from your amber and red to blue at the flip of a switch.
Yes.
Yeah,
those are great lights. They serve so many purposes. We use a lot of them in our work too.
They're amazing. We've got a pump in here for waste oil, waste fluids. There's a 100-gallon tank in the bed. So you're doing a service on a piece of equipment or whatever, Brandon can hook up to that and pump out of that, and it'll pump it into the bed in the back.
So for you guys out there that don't know, and there's a lot of folks that watch this on the playback that they dig trucks. They don't know a lot about them, but they know they like the looks of them. You guys just hook up a hydraulic line. It's a quick release, and it goes to the engine of the vehicle you're servicing, and it sucks all the used oil out of the engine, and then you just pump it full of new, fresh oil. 10-4?
That's correct. Yep.
Love the wrench brace, man. The angle braces that they put on there. That just, to me, is just cool. I mean, I don't know. Are those actually are more looks than anything, or just they do a little of both functionality?
No, they're actually they're good. They're gussets in there that strengthen the headache rack and
all right,
tie it all together. Yeah,
that is awesome. I love that. Love the speakers. You know what? I didn't see the stereo. Where was the stereo? Was it in the? Is it in the? It's in the deck, right?
So Brandon put the stereo. The deck is up top, right in the middle.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We got satellite.
No satellite. Bluetooth to his phone.
Oh well, there you go. There you have it. Okay. Yeah.
So here's the Lincoln welder. It's a big boy, 441. So it's one of the biggest ones you can put on a service truck this size for air arcing and heavy duty welding and all kinds of stuff.
Well, I don't know if you guys know. Did Jamie tell you guys? By the way, that he built a service truck too, right? It wasn't his truck in Vegas. Was it in Vegas? Thought it was.
I thought it
I
was.
believe
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So I mean, besides being a contractor, he builds trucks. You guys are kind of headed that direction, don't you think?
Oh man,
Well,
like I don't know if I want to be a truck builder at this cost.
no kidding.
I think I just want to go back to work.
Hey, Matt, we'll shelf that idea for another conversation, okay?
Right.
All right, Sean, that we got it all in, man. Great job.
Yep.
Whose visor we got up there? Is that 12 gauge?
That one came from Cortland.
Okay. All right.
That came from Cortland.
Nice job.
Yeah.
All
Hey,
right.
Sean,
Very,
pan
very
over and
nice
show the other
job.
trucks while you're there.
What's that?
Pan over and show the other trucks while you're there.
Yes.
There's a 53 Peterbilt we just got done with right after Brandon's truck. And here's our 53 Kenworth.
Which
This
will
has
be
got-
at Brooks.
This will be at Brooks.
And that was up in Reno too, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yep. Okay. With the trailer and everything. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
guys want to see any of this stuff and get, I mean, maybe not literally, but hands on checking it out. It's going to be up in Brooks, and Brooks is a bitch and show. If you've never been up there, you need to go. And that's definitely, I'm one of those. I've never been, so I'm excited about going. But yeah, what a great. Oh, look at all the logging equipment, man.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we
and
are,
our area is a logging, it's a logging town. Camino, California was
Yeah.
California, Michigan, Michigan. And these trucks have a rich local heritage, each one of them. And Doug is really proud of the local heritage here. So he wanted to resurrect that feeling in these trucks and get
So
them back
here's
on the
where I
road.
impressed you guys. I know those are long loggers.
Yeah. There's a Wetzeloviet truck. That Wetzeloviet yard was right where
Yeah.
your trailer sat.
Yeah. That is those are nice. Those are real nice. Some of the old stuff that's up here is pretty sweet that drives around, and what's crazy is it's still in service. You see guys running loads with it, but nothing like what you guys have in there, and that's beautiful equipment. You guys have done a real nice job.
Thank you very much.
there's your short logger.
Yeah, there's the short logger, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, good job, Sean. I appreciate you doing that. And that's a first here on Studio 10-4 Live of having our cover truck do a walk around. I think we've started something here, and we're going to get back to doing that again, I think, anytime we can. So
Great.
appreciate that. I'm going to bring everybody back in over here and get ourselves back in the mix. And Sean, we'll put you back in there, buddy.
Yep.
There we go. Take a second to say hi to a couple people. Cindy, nice to have you on the show. Thanks for tuning in as always. And Christina, are you a first-time viewer or participant? Nice to have you. Scott Henry, yeah, nice old rig, man. So I can't wait to see you guys. You're both going to be in Brooks, yes?
I will not.
You will not, Matt. Matt, you got to stay and work, right?
Yeah, somebody got to work.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to work. I know, man.
I got to pay for that blue truck behind Sean's shoulder.
Yeah, if you'd have put satellite in that thing, people would be saying you're spoiling the guys. So
I know, right?
Right. No, Doug will be in Brooks, and Brandon will be in Brooks as well. So they'll
Awesome.
be there, and yeah, drop by, talk to both of them. They both want to talk about the truck, talk about trucking in general, and just bullshit. Both of them love to hang out and tell stories.
Now, truckers stories. Do they
Weird,
even,
huh?
and I, you know what? Doug might even tell the truth.
Well, yeah, nothing but the truth.
I know. That's another inside joke. Yeah. Honestly, if you guys have never met Doug out there, anybody watching, you got to meet Doug to know what we're talking about. Just straight laced, pretty, really old salt of the earth kind of guy. Proud to know him and appreciative of the help he gave me when I was there and things I needed. He helped me out. So thanks, guys, for doing this. And let me officially on Studio 10-4 Live welcome you to the family. Once a cover trucker, always a cover trucker. And there's a fraternity of you out there, and there's only one a month and 12 a year. So there's 30 years worth out there, or there will be as of September. And you guys are now part of that fraternity. So proud to have you a part of it, and start looking for some things coming from Evans and from Pittsburgh Power.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Looking forward to it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, we're
thank
looking forward to seeing you up in Brooks. Matt, even though you're not going to be there, we'll be thinking about you, and we'll look forward to another time, another place. When I drop into town, maybe we can swing down to Poor Reds.
Let's do it.
Awesome.
Let's do that.
Awesome. Love that.
Well, thank you very much for having us on and showcasing our truck. We're very proud to put it out there.
Absolutely.
And proud of the work we do. And thank you everybody who had a hand in this. You know, it wouldn't be special without, you know, John, you and everybody that came together to put this on the road.
Yeah, well, you know, Dan did all the heavy lifting out there, getting the shots in for the magazine and getting them available for us to share here on the show. So, and Dan's always done a great job. 30 years worth, man. He's done a bunch. So, we'll look forward to seeing you guys somewhere sometime soon. Sean, we'll see you up at Brooks and the truck. Till then, you guys stay safe out there, and we'll catch up with you later.
Sounds
All right.
good.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Take care. All right, there it is. Team Veerkamp and Matt Veerkamp, of course, and Sean Stover. Thanks, guys, again for taking the time out to hang with us and share your truck. Yeah, Scott says, "Can I drive it?" Hey, you know what? I don't know. If they're looking for employees, you know, maybe there's an opportunity there. I don't know. That's something right there too. That having equipment like that. I mean, talk about an employer's advertiser. And of course the funny side of things, and truckers got a pretty good sense of humor. You know, they're always saying, "Hey, I'll come to work for you if I can drive that." Well, you know, you don't get to start out in the best truck in the fleet. You got to start somewhere, and it might not be as nice as that one, but at the Veerkamp company, you're going to get in a nice truck. They're all pretty darn good shape and nice looking and clean and taken care of. So, and the other thing that's important, safe. You know, these are trucks that stay away from the hook, meaning they come in under their own power and they keep it that way. And that's why you got a service truck out there too, to make sure that if there's a problem out in the field, they can take care of it. So again, I hope you guys got your edition and copy of the current issue of 10-4 magazine, featuring that beautiful 66-ish Peterbilt service truck that we just showed you guys. If you don't and you want a copy of the magazine, go on over to 10-4magazine.com, go to the events tab, and find yourself the subscription opportunities there. Subscriptions are cheap. They're very affordable, $60 a year, and that covers the postage of getting it to you. And that magazine comes in a clear plastic jacket, shipped to you like it is the day that it came off the press. Perfect shape and condition, as long as the mailman doesn't open it up and steal it from you. You're going to get your copy. So get that subscription. And if you want, you can do like I do. I get 5 copies that come to me every month, and I share with friends. And that's not a bad way to go too. So till next week, guys. And I'm hoping, as I said, Jack Schmidt will be on the show. He's the assistant plant manager of Kenworth and Chillicothe. And we'd like to get him on the show. We talked about it. We're just not sure if we're going to be able to do the live version because he's very involved with his family and sports. His daughter, I think, if I remember correctly. So we may do a pre-recorded spot of him. But one way or another, we'll have a good time and a good show. We got 2 more to go before we head up to Brooks and see everybody up in Brooks, Oregon. That's about 3.5, almost 4 hours for me from where I'm at here in Kirby, Oregon. Hope to talk to Matt soon. And Sean, same thing. Take care. Keep the shiny side up, you guys. Again, welcome to the 10-4 family. We appreciate you. Thanks. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week.